Motorsport games, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I have an excuse to talk about our favorite racing game developer slash publisher. On the 5th of November, a short but brutal announcement was made by TOCA, the BTCC rights holder. It's been over a month now, so you've probably seen this already. So I'll go through the announcement and then give you my thoughts and opinions after. In May 2020, TOCA entered into an agreement with Motorsport Gaming US LLC, an entity more widely known as Motorsport Games. That agreement exclusively licensed Motorsport Games to produce interactive video gaming products relating to the British Touring Car Championship. It is with regret that TOCA now advised that it has been forced to terminate that agreement forthwith due to ongoing fundamental breaches of the agreement by Motorsport Games. Having been given sufficient latitude to rectify those contractual breaches, unfortunately, Motorsport Games has failed to do so. In order to protect the reputation and intellectual property of the BTCC, including those of its participants and partners, TOCA has been left with no option but to terminate the agreement and immediately withdraw all licensed BTCC rights that were provided to Motorsport Games under that agreement. TOCA is aware that this news will come as a huge disappointment to our hundreds of thousands of fans, many of whom were eagerly anticipating the release of a new BTCC game, and we very much share that frustration due to Motorsport Games being unable to fulfill its contractual commitments. So first off, I don't think this announcement surprised anyone in the sim racing community at least, as many have been calling for IndyCar especially to cancel their exclusive deal for a long time now, and I do question the amount of research the companies like TOCA do toward Motorsport Games, because yes, they have successful games like rFactor 2, but that's a developer they simply purchased. But everything Motorsport Games have published themselves seem to be mediocre at best, so I really question TOCA's due diligence when it comes to signing an exclusive deal with Motorsport Games to begin with, but I'm sure the TOCA executives was razzled and dazzled by Motorsport Games and that Motorsport Games promised the world. But not much research would have been needed to be done to avoid this. The gaming community was naturally excited by the possibility of a BTCC game, even though it was met with some skepticism that Motorsport Games would be behind it. And even though I'm skeptical of Motorsport Games, I always want to remain positive and to hope for a good product, so I was excited too, because a BTCC game is something that I really would like to see come out, and I think the fans of the series deserve a decent game. The last TOCA game came out for the PS2 if I remember correctly, and those last games were just exploiting the TOCA name in my opinion. But the reason TOCA gives for termination of the license has been due to fundamental breaches, and we can't say definitively what lays behind that, but not putting a game out would be a good guess. As the game was initially set to release in 2022, I would also like to speculate that maybe TOCA didn't like it too much that Motorsport Games exploited the license to double dip, putting cars one by one into the rFactor 2 platform, requiring the consumers to purchase BTCC content piece by piece. We could speculate about other things, but I'll leave my tinfoil hat off for today. But feel free to bring your best conspiracy theories into the comment section. TOCA also states that Motorsport Games has been given more than enough time to rectify their breaches. And yeah, it's almost 2024, so it's over a year since the BTCC game was supposed to release. But in Motorsport Games' defense, games does take time to develop, and in their case, if they want to avoid the shit show that was their terrible NASCAR game, probably a long time. But the statement leads me to think there are other things TOCA aren't too pleased with as well, possibly the prioritizing of upcoming games, as Le Mans Ultimate and the IndyCar game is supposedly in the works, and to my understanding seem to be further in development than the BTCC game. TOCA seem to feel they need to protect the reputation and IP of BTCC, which is fine, but once again is a situation they have put themselves in and could easily have avoided checking the history, products and licenses of Motorsport Games. But at the same time, I gotta respect TOCA for terminating the license, even though it may be a long time until we see another BTCC game. At least this cancellation of the license means an actual decent developer can grab it at some later point, and it's not locked in Motorsport Games' vault of exclusives. So in a way, I'm happy that TOCA cancelled their exclusive license with Motorsport Games, because fuck exclusive licenses. I've hated them ever since the EA Porsche deal. Although I do understand an exclusive championship game, I still don't like the exclusivity. So yeah, hopefully some other developer picks up the BTCC license and make a decent game. I think this is for the best. Oh, and apparently there was some layoffs at Motorsport Games. It's rumored that it hit the IndyCar game devs hard, which could have consequences for the development of that game. It's a shame, and I do feel for the people who are out of jobs, and I sincerely hope they are able to find work in the industry quickly. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.